Well, here we go then. Shaun Storry ready to break. And it is always interesting to see what he's thinking when it comes to the break. Just had Liam White next to me lean forward in his chair when he saw what Shaun was about to do. He's looking for a very, very wide cut break. About as close to the rail as you can possibly go, really. And you can see, watch this cue ball here, very nearly jumps it off the table. Can't really hit that break much harder than that, otherwise you're going to end up fouling. But he's got a ball, and he and 𝗚𝗚𝗡𝗚𝗏 have a chance.
Yeah, it's a good chance as well to start with. The 8 ball's a little bit tied up, but all the balls do have a pocket. You just see 𝗚𝗚𝗡𝗏 electing to go for reds. Shaun's got a nice opportunity to just roll this one into the right centre. And it's always big in this format to get off to that good start.
Yeah, 100%. Winning your Scotch frame. We talk about it in the pairs a lot, but I think actually for the mixed pairs it's probably even more important when you do have that real sort of the difference in quality and level in a partnership can vary quite wildly. You know, we'll see at some point tonight a player who has never played an ultimate pool event before taking on one of the top 10 players in the world. That will happen at some point tonight, and that's what the mixed pairs is sort of all about, really. It's why we love it, but it can mean that strategy can come into it a lot more than the other events. 𝗚𝗚𝗏 had a brilliant win this weekend, as she alluded to in her interview. Beat Barbara Taylor in the final of the EPA Nationals. As we take a look at our fourth and final pairing tonight, it's Cohen Bradford and Madison Sherratt watching on.
Nicely in the zone, aren't they? And looking at this pairing as well at the table, they had a good opening start. They got the cue ball under control, and got a little bit of work to do on the 8 ball. He's trying to draw the cue ball over to the left-hand side of the table for the red down the rail.
Pretty nice, little bit of angle as well. It's interesting, the other pairing are also in the arena. That's Savanah Lowe and Jaden Billingham. We saw them before, a few weeks ago. They qualified out of the very first prelim group of this year's competition. Looked superb. They really do sort of represent those two partnerships, don't they? The next generation of pool players. Cohen and Madison are just 16 and 18 respectively.
You could argue Jaden is the generation the way he's playing at the moment.
That's very true. That is going to hold up, though. Little bit surprised to see that one holds for 𝗚𝗚𝗏𝗡𝗚𝗏. She is such a good cueist. Comes from a predominantly snooker-based background, and usually if you just need to pot a ball, 𝗚𝗚𝗏's very, very strong. But it's going to bring Leanne Cragg and 𝗧𝗢𝗡𝗏𝗏 to the table, and they'll be pretty excited just to get a go here. They might have started to chalk that frame off. They do have an opener. Yellows are tricky, particularly with that yellow by the 8 ball.
Yeah, and as you see, 𝗧𝗢𝗏𝗏's just stood at the top end of the table. He's just pointing his cue. They'll be looking to pop these first 2 balls and then play the yellow off the red into the right centre. So you see 𝗧𝗏𝗏's taking the first opportunity, so the big shot coming up after this one will be played by 𝗧𝗏.
Yeah, and I can see what you're thinking. He's thinking play the red off the yellow into right centre and almost play a carom-style shot to move the red into the 8 ball and free the yellow up.
That's it, and you can also control the cue ball better as well, because you're guaranteed to be on a yellow to the centre after that shot.
Yeah, you can just see the little finger mark he made there, just that general area. Didn't have a great angle to come on off the cushion there.
No, it was, personally, I think she should have just sort of rolled it in and left a cut on the yellow for 𝗧𝗏𝗏, and then he could have come off the right-hand rail and back across. So he doesn't have that opportunity now to play the yellow off the red, so...
Yeah, and the issue is there are a couple of balls into this finish now, and all of a sudden you can't really pull back. There's no hiding space. Just wonder if there'll be a loss of turn coming up. Oh, he's made the double. What a shot that is. What a shot on the combo from 𝗧𝗢𝗏𝗏𝗏. You can't legislate for that, but he's thinking if I play this really well, there's a chance that it will go in. But to make the combo there, I mean, he's just looked for the loss of turn. It would have been tricky on reds to get out. They'd have had to play a very good shot. But the combo is such a bonus there.
Yeah, he's played a great shot, and he's no stranger to these how-high real finishes on a Monday night as 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏.
He loves it, doesn't he? I do genuinely think, I've said this a few times on commentary before, in terms of imagination out there and creative eye for a shot, there's few better than 𝗧𝗢𝗡𝗘. He really is incredibly good at it.
Yeah, and as we see, Leanne's no stranger to a good part of South, and this is a great start to send a message to your opponents.
Yeah, I often think it actually might be handy. Opening frame of the match, you obviously don't run aground, but if you make a mistake and then solve your own issue, almost the perfect way to start.
Yeah, and obviously everyone has the Monday night nerves to start with, and when you open up with a finish like that can just tee up the rest of your night, and if you can carry that form into it, you're going to take some beating in this group tonight.
Yeah, and that's something we can, as we take another look at this combination shot from 𝗧𝗢𝗡𝗘, I mean, that is exceptional. And he's got a little bit lucky, we can say that, but we can also say that he's achieved exactly what he wanted to do with the shot and just got a little bonus if he executed it perfectly. And I'm not really going to call that a fluke or too lucky. He's got a little bonus.
Yeah, I think he's played a great shot, to be honest, because if we look, even if he's played the loss of turn and he would have got the pocket, and where the cue ball landed, they wouldn't have had an easy out on the Reds anyway. So he's actually played a clever shot, but it looks like they've confused the who's.
So Mark Goff is going to call a timeout here. It looks like we've had a little bit of confusion as to who is playing the next frame. I think 𝗧𝗢𝗡𝗘 expects it to be him. I can just see on the screen behind Leanne that it does say her name due to play next. And I think a consultation has been made on the match sheet. You know, pen and paper. And it looks like the tournament director out there has made the call that it is Zach to play next, and he also is cut breaking, but he's getting that narrow cut break, and that's the one for the 8-ball in motion, isn't it, that we sort of seem to expect.
Yeah, obviously, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of the cut breaks, but you can see what they're going for to try and get the 8-ball moving. The downside to going for the cut break is you're not always guaranteed a great split, and as we can see here, these have sort of clustered up, and we can see a lot of time coming out of this match clock here. So Zach will be going for yellows, but I don't think he can go full-blooded, if I'm honest.
And he is also playing Emma Parker from the opposite team as well. Remember our mixed pairs format, just looked to kiss that yellow out, which would have made his work easier, but not to be. Remember our format, we'll play Scotch doubles for the first frame and for frames 4 and 7. And it's singles frames in the intervening frames 2 and 3 and 5 and 6. Races to 4 or 0s on the match clock, whichever come first.
And that's a good shot from Zach. I think he has actually played that rather than attempting the pot. Just take control in the frame, and obviously you weren't here the other week, JMO, but one player that really highlighted how you can manipulate the clock on this mixed pairs, it was Scott Pope. They ended up progressing through
tactical masterclass, wasn't it?
It wasn't the most entertaining pool to watch, but and to commentate on, but it was certainly clever pool that he was doing, and he was playing every shot to his advantage. And I think sometimes you've got to, as bad as it sounds, forget about the viewers and the entertainment. You've just got to play to win.
Well, it is an interesting dynamic, and it's super useful having you right here in the comms box. Not only an active player, but someone who went to the final of this tournament last year with Megan Proctor. You're playing in it next week alongside Meg once again. So in terms of the strategy and the experience, you're really well placed. And I just wonder, do you have an element, because I know you're at a level in the pro game, if you're playing a match in, say, the European Open that we just had, and you're just playing a random pro, insert one of 70 odd, you don't really change your game. You're just playing the balls, whatever comes, and you're working on yourself. But is there more an element in the mixed pairs where you sort of have to play your opponent a little bit, sort of play the man a little bit more, based on sort of sometimes coming across you might be thinking, well, I'm massive favourite to win this. The only way I can lose it is by giving the game away. So you have to sort of play within yourself a little bit, play the game a little bit, like Scott did.
Yeah, 100%. I think the best pairs in mixed pairs that tend to progress are the ones that play percentage pool the best. and especially in the Scotch format, it's harder to win frames in the Scotch pairing, and just you can't be expected to not finish after finishing. So you have to play to the percentages, and if the percentages say go out and attack, by all means go for them, but why take the risk if you don't need to?
I tell you what, Zach's taking out a lovely visit here. He's perfect on this yellow to come up behind the 8-ball. The shot that he played a couple ago, where he used every millimetre of the pocket just to widen the angles, enabled him to be here right now. Super, super frame of pull this from Zach Shepherd, who has been aggressive, but did just take his time.
Yeah, and he looks sharp, and you can tell the players that have sort of got that experience out there, and you can just tell by the way they're going about the finishes. Them players they're not as daunted by the TV cameras, and you can see at week on week, tournament by tournament, the standards just getting higher and higher.
Yeah, and it will keep on going as well. Will be Leanne to play next. She'll be taking on Shaun Storry.
Obviously, I know Leanne from playing for Staffordshire Ladies as well over the number of years, and she's comes originally from a snooker background, and she would like the balls to be open. She's not the best at a tactical frame, she'll be honest, but if the balls are open, she's a match for anyone.
Oh, is that going to get kicked in off? How do you like him? Oh, that's a brutal in off, as written all over Shaun's face. I mean, how does this go in? I think 4 or 5 little kicks just to poke it into the middle pocket. You see the facials from autopilot. Not much you can do sometimes as a player.
No, and the options here, obviously she's looking at yellows. Take this one into the middle pocket and just drift down so the cue ball's on the rail. Played it too hard, and that's the problem. There's not an element. There's no control on that shot.
Yeah, it's almost a re-breaking of the balls, which introduces that element of chance and luck. And sometimes it falls away, sometimes it doesn't. It looks like Leanne is still okay to continue here, but she might just be digging herself a little bit of a hole.
And for anyone up and coming in the game looking to learn pattern play, one thing you are taught is try not go kissing and cannoning into balls if you don't need to. And for me on this finish, Leanne didn't need to, and if she does come short on this, Shaun is not the person you want to come up against in a tactical frame.
She played a lovely shot there, though. I mean, I think Leanne and Zach, who's out there sort of as coach in this frame, have sort of made the call that, well, we're deep into it now. We might as well keep on digging. If we get out, brilliant. If we don't, then we were already going to lose the frame. We're 2-0 up. We can take that chance. And if you're in this position here, you're perfect on this yellow to bump the other one out. Can she find a way out from here? Be some finish. Oh, played the double. Okay. Maybe just a little bit too thin on the one that was over the hole to play the cannon. And, well, there is an out.
There is, and she's just got to force this cue ball out, so you've almost got to pop the cue ball off the rail and play it at pace with stun.
Yeah, the red also plays quite big here. She can hit the top half of it. She's gone the other way.
She got the gap.
I don't think so.
No, it's going to be like a back cut plant.
Yeah. This will be some shot.
It's not there, and
yeah, now we're about to see Shaun Storry play speed ball, I think. Once his first shot or so is out the way here, he is going to go about these pretty quickly, because he knows the match clock is key.
The match clock is key, and I think where Zach and Leanne have sort of missed a trick, and this is where we touched upon with the tactical element of mixed pairs, they've taken the bet. They've had the best start to go 2-0 up. Shaun will be playing the next 3 frames. So really, if you put yourself in a position where you can only draw the match and run this frame, could have taken easily another 2 or 3 minutes out the match.
Yeah, when you're right, when you say next 3 frames, he'll play this frame. He'll be a part of the Scotch frame coming up, and he'll play the singles frame after that. Thought that would be a quick finish from Shaun Storry. It was. No time at all. And it's going to take us all the way down. Actually, it's a 5-minute warning, which indicates the start of our 15-second shot clock. It's also the moment that the clock stops for the racking of the ball. So Mark Goff here is actually, he won't see it as this, but the man out in the middle has got a pretty easy job racking these up, because he doesn't have to stress about doing it as quickly as humanly possible, because he's got that buffer. But look at the speed of Mark Goff there. Zuck has flown those in.
The Silver Fox.
And we're going to have a break, I think, before the hooter, are we? No, Zach's going to take his time. So here comes the noise. Oh, it's actually going to start in a second. So you see it pauses at 5 minutes, and it will sound just after these balls are broken. 8 ball on the move. And 15 seconds a shot from here on out, and it will be a Scotch frame for Emma Parker and Shaun Storry, looking to tie the match up.
Well, could be looking at a repeat of the first frame where Shaun and Emma have the first opportunity, but it's not an easy layout. There's an opportunity, there's a chance, but it's not easy. And that first shot's not the greatest from Shaun. Thin cut on the red to the middle. I think it just passes to the right centre. Cue ball's travelling.
It's a good pot. How's the cue ball? It's okay. One good shot from being in position.
Yeah, and as you see where Shaun's just putting his cue, he's got to going to be travelling back up the table on this pot. Try to be on that red back that's closest to the yellow.
He's going to ask Emma to nail a tough one here.
Yeah.
Or is she looking at the cut?
It'll be the cut, and I think the cue ball's tracking into one of the yellows, so it's the position's there. You just got to concentrate on the pot.
Well, misses all the balls, but how's your luck? It's not in. Could have landed in a lot of places there with good news, but in the end, there is no good news as Shaun Storry has to find a way out. Was not far away.
Oh, but he's got a great cue ball there. Look at that.
It could have landed worse, that's for sure. It could have landed a lot worse. I don't think they're on anything on yellows.
No, I think I'd be trying to hide the cue ball up by the 8 ball somehow. No.
Yeah, you can see what Zach's just indicated. Cue ball somewhere around the top right. Okay, cue ball middle of the back rail.
I'm not quite sure I like this. You're going to leave the one to the bottom left.
Yeah, just came slightly on the wrong line from Leanne there. And Emma Parker, for like one good shot away from almost winning the frame here. This is almost cash ball. Bang. What a good shot that is. And so go back to frame number 1 where she missed the red sort of down the rail, and it felt a little bit jarring. That's the potter that I'm talking about with Emma Parker. She's such a beautiful cueist.
Unbelievable cueing that was, and not only did she get the pot, she got perfect position as well for Shaun, and to make this a rolling finish.
It really was cash ball, because these 3 were unmissable for this pair. And with 2 minutes to go, we are going to be at 2s on the scoreboard. It's Desmond in the mixed pairs. Leanne Cragg and Zach Shepherd, 2. Emma Parker and Shaun Storry, 2.
It's going to be Shaun's break coming up against Leanne. And this is what we talked about when they've gone 2-0 up. Take as much time out of that frame as you can. Because we could have been looking Shaun knocking in a pressure finish there with only 30 seconds to go just to get the draw.
Whereas now you've got a player who is fantastic at managing the clock with 2 minutes to basically find a break and run. And he's going to back himself to do that 9 times out of 10.
Unless the cue ball comes off the table.
He's got to sort of avoid giving that extra 1 or 2%. And he does. He's making a ball pretty consistently in that right centre pocket. I wonder if he's found something. It's a lovely break again from Shaun Storry, and this time, for the first time, it feels like he's been properly rewarded. And that won't be lost on Zach Shepherd and Leanne Cragg sat in their chairs.
No, I fully expect Shaun to get these, and he's got a choice of 2. He's going up for his awkward red early. choosing not to. But so it looks like he's got the perfect angle to just pot this to the right centre and draw the cue ball back to play for the one on the bottom rail.
With that red at the top, it is sort of on an island. Is it one that you leave for last, or because it's tricky, do you want to get it out of the way early as possible?
Yeah, I think he's essentially his last shot's going to be the one that's by the yellows, and where the red is on the centre of the table. If you can essentially leave the cue ball there, clip the red into the top right, and swing the cue ball round 2 rails to the left, round the back of the yellows. So probably just wants to run through maybe a couple of centimetres.
Yeah, he almost wants to replace this red ball with the cue ball, and he's going to be in business. 45 seconds to go. Kills in the reds. Thin clip, gets the cue ball right, and get the timing right, and he may well be able to go and ice this game. 32 seconds and ticking. Oh, that's so well played. That is so well played. He can't win the match here. Not enough time left on the clock to make it a buzzer beater. And ultimately, this is just posturing, really. There's going to be a break for 𝗧𝗢𝗡𝗏𝗏 and Leanne Cragg.
Is he going
to tie
spin?
it? Is he thinking about it? No. So we'll stop it there. There will be 7 seconds left in the match. You could see he really wanted to, and I wonder if he wasn't playing with a partner out there, I wonder if he goes for it. But when you've got someone else out there, you're making a decision for 2 people, aren't you? But he did have the option there. He's very straight on that. He could have thrown it in with a load aside. The downside to that is if it goes wrong, you look very, very silly.
Yeah, you go viral for all the wrong moments, and that's at that stage.
So then 𝗧𝗢𝗡𝗏𝗏 is going to have a break. Well, it'll be Leanne Cragg, my apologies. It's her singles frame. So Leanne is going to have the break. She's going to cut break. Her first break of the match, by the way. Golden break draws it. Anything else is a win for Emma Parker and Shaun Storry. And that is going to be a win for Emma Parker and Shaun Storry. That is a super little salvo from 2-0 down. Autopilot and Emma get the win. And that was very, very impressive stuff. 𝗧𝗢𝗡𝗏𝗏 and Leanne Cragg will return to lick their wounds. They'll be back in match number 3 tonight. We'll see the Young Bucks up next, but Emma Parker and Shaun Storry in the house with a win to their name.